Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Pradajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Pradajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari.
The great sage replied, "Certainly I have a desire to marry, and your daughter has not yet married or given her word to anyone. Therefore our marriage according to the Vedic system can take place." Purport by Srila Prabhupada. There were many considerations by Kardama Muni before accepting the daughter of Svāyambhuva Manu. Most important is that Devahūti had first of all fixed her mind on marrying him. She did not choose to have any other man as a husband. That is a great consideration because female psychology dictates that when a woman offers her heart to a man for the first time, it is very difficult for her to take it back. Also, she had not married before. She was a virgin girl. All these considerations convinced Kardama Muni to accept her. Therefore, he said, "Yes, I shall accept your daughter under religious regulations of marriage. There are different kinds of marriage, of which the first-class marriage is held by inviting a suitable bridegroom for the daughter and giving her in charity, well dressed and well decorated with ornaments, along with the dowry according to the means of the father. There are other kinds of marriage, such as gāndharva marriage and marriage by love, which are also accepted as marriage. Even if one is forcibly kidnapped and later on accepted as a wife, that is also accepted. But Kardama Muni accepted the first-class way of marriage because the father was willing and the daughter was qualified. She had never offered her heart to anyone else. All these considerations made Kardama Muni agree to accept the daughter of Svāyambhuva Manu. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Om Jnana Timiranda Sarajana Shalakaya Chakshum Militami Tasma Shikru. Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Krishna Vadash Madhikam Kanana Swami Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Krishna Vadash Madhikuru Das Chadatas Swami Krishna Krishna Vadash Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gurava Sharadu Vishesha Shirabadi Prasthadashdashtar Vancha Kalpatar Bescha Kripa Sindhu Bhyo Vishapatitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namah. So the goal of marriage life is to children to the world and save them from the cycle of birth and death. If one cannot deliver a soul from the cycle of birth and death, is not qualified to become a parent. Human life is meant to break the cycle of birth and death. So the goal of marriage is to help others do the same. Otherwise, what's the use of getting married and bringing like unwanted population, you know? So a Vaishnava does everything according to Vedic scriptures, instructions coming directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Krishna consciousness, we don't concoct anything. We simply follow instruction and repeat what's in the Vedas. We don't concoct our own philosophy or our own ideas or own activities, but we simply repeat that which has been shown by example by previous acharyas. So one has to understand that applying tilak, wearing a dhoti or sari, having neck beads, that doesn't make you a Vaishnava. One must understand the philosophy and act accordingly. If action and the philosophy, they're not going together, this is because it's considered ignorance. One may know like the whole philosophy, but if the action is not in line with this philosophy, that person is considered to be still in ignorance. Knowledge means acting according to the so-called knowledge. If I know the Cape Town is in the south, and I say I'm going to Cape Town, but I keep moving to the north, does it mean that I know Cape Town? That's not knowledge. Knowledge means acting according to what considered to be knowledge. One can say, I'm not this body, you're not this body. But when the action is according to the bodily concept, such person is to be considered to be in ignorance. Even though he speaks the truth, but the action is not according to the truth. That's ignorance. So how does one come to the point of understanding that I'm not this body? By simply accepting authority from previous acharyas and guru and Vaishnavas or sadhus. When you follow their example, because a person who already knows something and act accordingly will be able to give you what they know. One cannot give that which it doesn't have. We are fallen conditioned souls. At the current state, we are fallen conditioned souls. We are incapable of finding the right way to self-realization. We don't have that capability because everything we're doing is based on our conditioning. But when one meets a self-realized soul can be able to teach you how to become self-realized. If one is not self-realized, cannot teach anyone how to be self-realized. So one must get a self-realized soul. How do you know if one is a self-realized soul? He acts and speaks according to instruction given by Shastra. If one thinks that you don't need Shastra, you just need to look within, you will find the truth. One has to be rejected immediately. Krishna is the supreme knower. If Krishna says it's true is following the instruction of a guru, one will come to the point of self-realization. He's not speculating. He doesn't make mistakes. He's infallible. So when one has faith in Krishna and act accordingly, one will come to the point of self-realization. Are you raising your hand already?
No.
Oh, okay. Hare Krishna.
When entity was
Which one? This one?
The fly.
Oh, okay. So, I thought it was talking about you, Prabhu. Yeah, so I just said living entities. Okay. So, self-realization is the goal of human life. When one is self-realized, it's a matter of fact that when one self-realized, will become disgusted by this material world. It is said if you're not disgusted by the material world, it's impossible. It is impossible to be self-realized if you're not disgusted by this world. Having attachment to this world, having some likes about this world, it simply means that you still identify with the body. That's what it means. When the bodily concept of life is totally gone, the only focus will be self-realization. Who am I? Why am I here? Why am I forced to die? Why is my body giving me challenges at all time? Because in this world, even the so-called good is bad. There's nothing good about this world. Even the so-called good is bad. Even mathematically, they say like positive plus negative is just negative. The same person you call good is bad to others, which means this person is totally bad. Because one person can decide to be good to those who do what he likes, and be bad to those who do what he doesn't like. So when one understands this, then the attachment to the material world will be totally gone. When we understand even the so-called good is bad, there won't be attraction to the material world. The best car in the world is creating pollution. Air pollution. What's good about that? It might look beautiful, but at the same time it's causing bad in the world. So you'll understand actually everything in this world is bad. And the only solution will be to run back home, back to Godhead. If this is not made the main focus in life, one has to be considered very unfortunate. If self-realization is not made the main focus, one should be considered bad. Very unfortunate, I mean. So self-realization is the only business for human life. Getting out of this cycle of birth and death. That's the main focus for the fallen conditioned soul in a form of a human body. This human body is not meant for any other business. One should engage in material life just to keep the soul and body together, nothing more. One may say, oh, I'm in a Grihastha ashram. I have to engage myself more into family life. But actually, if you look back in our Sampradaya, you notice that most of our previous acharyas were Grihasthas. Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, the most people we're learning from come from Grihastha ashram. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, actually many of them. Actually, Krishna gives the highest instruction to a Grihastha, Arjuna. Because in a Grihastha ashram, that's when a person easily sees that this material world is not nice. Because you engage most of your time with materialists who have no desire for godliness. And if you're sane enough, you'll take every activity in a material world as a lesson that this is not a nice place. Where you're forced to do same thing every day. in the name of so-called maintaining family. And the so-called family, they're never satisfied. They still demand for more. But because of insanity, this is accepted as happiness, part of life. In insanity, one who considers misery to be part of life. But when you look around, you notice that the rest of your life, you never even heard one person saying to you, I've been enjoying so much in my life. I'm wondering, where is misery? Can somebody bring some bad news? No one asks for misery, but yet they'll tell you this is part of life. What is not good is supposed to be rejected immediately. How do you reject misery? By fully having one pointed focus towards Krishna. In English, they have a saying, you are where your mind is. If your mind is focusing 100% on Krishna, all these so-called miseries will be happening, but you won't be concerned. Because your mind is not there. It's focusing on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But yet, even though this knowledge is there, one still thinks, no, I can find some happiness in this and that. But this and this and this is happening. Oh, no, don't worry, it's part of life. This is called insanity. This is called insanity. It says actually there's only two people who can be happy in this world. A self-realized soul and a mad person. A mad person is happy because he doesn't know what happiness is. Just like a hog. A hog eats stool. And he thinks, oh, this is not so nice. Because he doesn't know what nice means. Similarly, a mad person is like that. A self-realized soul is happy because it's transcendental to all the modes of nature. Whatever happens in nature doesn't affect him at all. Sometimes a self-realized soul doesn't even try to solve so-called problems because he accepts everything as a will of Krishna. Therefore, because he's focusing 100% towards Krishna, therefore so-called suffering doesn't affect him at all. He sees happiness and distress as just seasons. When a season comes, no one protests, oh, why this season, why that season? Because it's understood to be the working of the material nature. But this can only come towards one when one serves Vaishnavas who are self-realized. By serving Vaishnavas who are self-realized, one attains Sukriti, attains credit to enter into spiritual meadows. Because self-realized souls are too attached to Krishna, one becomes also attached towards Krishna. We're having like these programs given by our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, which are only meant to give one attachment to serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There's not even one program in Krishna consciousness which is not meant for that. We wake up early in the morning, we come to the temple room. What is the reason for that? To see the deity form of the Lord. If every day of your life, the first thing you see when you wake up is the deity form of the Lord, guaranteed, gradually you become attached. When you attach to the lotus feet of the Lord, chanting japa becomes more attractive than ever. We come to the deity room, we see the form of the Lord. We don't look around who's here, who's not. It's only you and Krishna, focusing on the deity form of the Lord. You become attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, your number of rounds will increase naturally. If you wake up every day for the rest of your life, seeing the deity form of the Lord, but the number of rounds doesn't increase, it means that you're in the temple room for something else, not to become attached to the deity form of the Lord. Those who are attached to the deity form of the Lord are seen by the results of being attached to japa. If this process is followed properly, one pays attention. Why am I here? What am I doing in the temple room? Because spiritual life is an individual process. No one else can help. Even if the whole world, including your family and everyone, comes to the temple room for Mangalati, that won't help if you're not following the process properly. Being here with everyone, they won't help you. Even your own brother, sister, cousin, they won't help you. It's just like an aeroplane. When it's in the sky, no other aeroplane can help. So you can look around, my friend is not here, this person is not there. Then, even if they're here, they won't help you. This for your own sake. Have a strong desire to become attached to the deity form of the Lord. And when the number of rounds increase, one will experience ecstatic symptoms. One won't be reading about ecstatic symptoms alone. He will be realizing them happening in one's body. Prabhupada says many times that when one chants, the hair stands on end. The body trembles, the voice choke up, simply by chanting. We read about this, but we never experience it, and we don't even worry about it. It doesn't bother us at all. So one must be worried, why am I not experiencing this? I'm chanting as well, but why am I not experiencing this? What's going on? What am I not doing right? A person who's internal can easily practice bhakti. But when you're external, bhakti is very difficult. At least it's possible, but it's very difficult. Being internal means that your only worry is to how to become better. Your only worry. You only worry about how do I become a better devotee? How do I serve Krishna better? How do I serve Vaishnavas better? How can I give up all this envy? It's about how to better oneself. That's being internal. A person who's always thinking inward can easily practice bhakti. But when one is worried about, like, how do I look? I need a new dhoti so I can look better when I move around. I need to have, like, all this fancy stuff so I can preach properly. Such person can hardly penetrate the mood of bhakti. Bhakti is for those who are always internal, always thinking about how to become a better devotee. So this cannot be artificially attained without forcing oneself to serve Vaishnavas. Because in this age of Kali, it's prominent, very hard actually to bring oneself to serve another person. Very hard. And when you're serving devotees, Krishna is mostly pleased than when you serve him directly. That's the reason why when one serves devotees, Krishna gives bhakti. But to those who think I rather serve Krishna directly, Krishna doesn't even pay attention to those kind of people. Those who have a strong desire for name and fame don't get the attention of Krishna. Liking hearing people speaking nicely about me. Oh wow, they love me so much, you know. They love me so much. You know, they see me, you know. Such people actually don't get Krishna's attention. When I travel around, I meet so many people. Very happy people, you know. Very, very happy. They meet me, where you from? I explain where I'm from. Oh, you know so-and-so, he knows me. Oh, you know so-and-so, he knows me very much. Oh, wow, okay. You're so known, you know, that's good. Yeah. You've heard that before, right? Yeah, he knows me, you know. Oh, such and such person. Oh, he knows me. And I'm wondering, why is it about you liking being known so much, you know? Krishna is already known everywhere. You cannot take that position. It's already taken, forget it. You know? People who are very famous, they have always frustrated. Why? Because the position is already taken. No one can be famous than Krishna. People who are rich are so frustrated. Why? Because even that position of wealth is already taken. No one can be wealthier than Krishna. So why are you trying for something which has already been taken? Which cannot be reclaimed? Krishna has all opulences. But this world is meant for those who want Krishna's opulences. Why should we have this? I also want to be beautiful. Why Krishna is the only one who's supremely beautiful? What kind of makeup? What kind of haircut must I have to be like, shock everyone with my haircut? You cannot have that. That is already taken. That's causing unnecessary misery. You have a new haircut and everyone, the next day, they have the same haircut with the same desire that they want to shock everyone with their haircut. And when you notice people don't pay attention to your haircut anymore, you commit suicide. Haircut didn't work. So one has to come to an understanding, actually, acquiring all this will never bring pleasure because these opulences have already been taken. Naturally, all these opulences belong to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even your own so-called beauty is not yours. That's why at some point Krishna takes it back. You're no longer beautiful. The body wrinkles, you know, you become slow, mucus form in your lungs, can no longer operate your own body the way you used to do when you were young. Krishna has taken this beauty and strength away. They're never yours. That's why when you have them, you're always in anxiety. Because you know subconsciously they're not yours. So one has to come to a point where you understand that I'm nothing else except a servant. I'm just an eternal servant of Krishna. When you know this, the result will be that the action is according to that knowledge. You start behaving like a servant because you know I'm a servant. But when you think I'm a servant but you're still acting like a master, it means that you don't know that you're a servant. So a servant and a master in the same person causes too much anxiety to oneself. When you think I'm a master and nobody listens to you, then you become frustrated. Because actually no one is your servant. You are a servant yourself. So understanding that I'm a servant will cause one to always try by all means to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you very much. Don't think they have questions.
I have been taking note on how heavy devotees are, because they're preaching the message of the spiritual master, the guru, yet simultaneously they are so compassionate and considerate to this person's conditioning. So if you could maybe just give some elaboration on some of the most difficult preaching moments you've had, where the person they have all this knowledge in these things, but they're stubborn, and all the devotee needs to do is just charismatically, make them chuckle, make them laugh, and then there's the connection before the correction. Maybe you could speak a bit on that, because I find myself struggling with that very thing. I struggle to approach people because of their condition and these things, and then simultaneously I don't feel qualified to preach to them, so I just don't,
Are you telling me there's a person in this world who's like having their foot on a burning coal, but they're too stubborn to lift their foot?
Say again?
Somebody steps on a burning coal.
Burning coal?
Yeah, and he knows that I'm stepping on a burning coal. His foot is burning, but he's too stubborn to lift his foot. There is such a person?
It appears to be, yes.
I don't think that's possible, though. I don't think that's logical, unless if someone has no knowledge at all that is burning. He might consider himself that I'm burning, but I have knowledge, but he doesn't have knowledge. If someone is telling you the truth, but he refuses to accept the truth, just because you're stubborn, it doesn't make sense. It means that you don't have knowledge that this is the truth. Because if you know this is the truth, you will act accordingly. Where is the stubbornness when you know this is the truth?
To jog my context more, I've seen you politely say to someone, "My dear sir, how are you doing?" And this, like when I listen to Chaitanya Charitamrita and when I listen to the audiobooks, the narration is almost the same. It's sweet. The person is asking on a very aristocratic tone and level, "My dear sir, how are you doing?" And usually the person sort of like responds with like spitting fire and these things. But there's that one person who will take that sentence of, "My dear sir, how are you doing?" And the person's like, "I'm fine, thank you, how are you? And why are you wearing orange?" And then that's that opening. And I feel like one has to have that good mood first before you approach anyone that's suffering in the world. Otherwise, they're not going to see.
Yeah, but I thought your question was about like someone who already knows, but is stubborn.
But
the people in the streets have no knowledge.
They claim to know, and therefore.
Yeah, but they don't have knowledge. That's why they're not acting according to knowledge, because they don't have it. If they have knowledge, they will act according to knowledge.
So, for example, how would you address a person? Would you open up with a question and see their knowledge and where they are? Because some people are just marching forward, like especially here in Rondebosch. You can't stop them, they're just going.
Yeah, when a person is sleeping, there's a way to wake him up if he's ready to wake up. Yeah, there are people who are deep in a sleep that even your attempt to wake them up, it will never work because they're deep in a sleep. But a person who's ready to wake up will stop and inquire, like, where am I? When you just wake up, where am I? What's going on? Who are you? What are you about to tell me? But those who are sleeping, they have no business with acting like accordingly. Like when you try to stop them, they just keep moving. Because they're deep in a sleep, they're not ready to be waken up. So when you wake up, when you awaken yourself, you have no business judging those who are asleep. You must understand, I was once asleep. I'm awakened now because I was ready somehow, by the mercy of Krishna. They're going to wake up as well. So it doesn't affect you. Just like when you find someone sleeping in your room and you try to wake them up and they don't wake up, you don't go stressing the whole day. I tried to wake him up, he never woke up, It's something you let go. Yeah, it doesn't stay with you in your mind, you become depressed about it. So similarly, when you go out, you must understand these people are sleeping. If they are ready, I will be able to wake them up. If they're not ready, because this has to be understood 100% that when you go out in the streets to try to distribute books, you can only give an opportunity to a person to accept or reject. No one can make anyone take a book. It's impossible.
It's Krishna's arrangement.
Yeah, you cannot make a person take a book. You can speak deep philosophy. If this person is not ready, the super soul is not allowing him to take, it won't happen. So you go and do that just to give opportunities. Krishna is the one who decides whether these people are ready or not.
That makes
not
a lot
you
of sense.
as a distributor.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. So
We're meeting lots of people in the world. If we could make people take books, all the books will be gone. The printing machines will be breaking every day. So only Krishna can decide whether a person should take a book or not us.
Prabhu, I have a
I can share one story,
Yes.
if you don't mind. I shared this story many times.
Yes.
Yeah. Many times I spoke this story. Many people know it, but I don't mind repeating it. So I was distributing books on the 24th of December one year. I'm not good with years actually, but it happened on the 20th. I remember it was on the 24th of December. So the train station in Cape Town, on the other side there's a McDonald's. I don't know if it's still there. So I was coming from Greenpoint side, and approached McDonald's, and there were two ladies sitting outside the McDonald's. And I approached these ladies. So when I just greeted these ladies. After greeting them, one lady was sitting on my left and the other one on the right. There's a table in the middle. And then this lady said, "What religion is this? We've been told that in the future, at the end of days, there will be many religions showing up. My brother, you're misleading people." And she started shouting and chastising me. And as she was chastising me, she asked her friend, "Doesn't the Bible tells you this?" And the friend said, "Yeah, even in the Bible, this is there." And as they were talking, I could understand that the one who was chastising me is a Muslim, and the friend is a Christian. So I'm thinking, whoa, I'm having a friend. I never seen a Muslim who does this, It was the first time. I know Muslims will tell you that the Holy Quran is the only bona fide book, But I never heard someone chastising you for choosing a different religion in Islamic culture. I never heard that. So I knew, I come from Christianity. I've seen that many times, they do that a lot. So, but the Christian in this case, she's quiet. This Muslim lady is chastising me. And people came and stood around, And they were like, tell him. Normally in the beginning, when these things happen, I normally say, "Oh, it was an honor meeting you. Please enjoy your day." I walk away. But Krishna said, "You're not moving. You stand here. I want to teach you. You're full of nonsense." Krishna just made me it's a cause of forgetfulness and remembrance. I just stood there. I don't know why I was standing there. So, moments later, one other lady came and sat behind the Muslim lady. So when she came, she was talking on the phone. She's talking on the phone. The Muslim is busy entertaining people, And then the Muslim turned around to this lady. This lady was having a phone on on a right ear. The Muslim was on her left. So she doesn't see the Muslim doesn't see the phone, She's telling the Muslim, "What do you think about it?" The new lady, "What do you think about this?" So I said to the Muslim, no, please don't bother her. She's busy on a call. She said, "Oh, sorry." And then she came back to chastise me. So the lady finished talking on the phone. She turned around to the Muslim. She asked, "What were you saying?" And the Muslim is like, this guy is coming with this new religion, misleading people, So the new lady said to the Muslim, no, please cut me out of it. I don't even believe in God. I'm having an atheist, a Muslim, and a Christian. I'm thinking, whoa, what is this about? What is this about, I've never seen something like this. What is this about? And then the Muslim kept on talking. I'm not even thinking, you know what, I should be moving, These people are draining my energy. I should be moving. I don't even think of that. So finally, the atheist said to the Muslim, my sister, you talk a lot. You're not even giving this man a chance to defend himself. And then she said to me, please, my brother, you can defend yourself. So immediately I could read it in an atheist's face that she's being entertained. All these guys believe in God, but they don't get along, So she wanted entertainment from my side. She's tired of hearing from one person. So as soon as I was given a chance, I started talking. When I was talking, the Muslim and the Christian kept interfering. And the lady was like putting them in order. No, you had your chance. Let him talk. And I spoke, this kept on interfering. And she was like, please, give him. Since I came here, you were talking. Let this man talk. And as I was talking, then the atheist was like, wait a minute. This is the first time I meet a religious person who's talking sense. So now she starts asking questions, The Christian and the Muslim, they're fully quiet now. She's always keeping them in order, And I answered the question, and she said, I see, what are these books? Then I had Life Comes from Life. These were the last books. I distributed all the books I had. Life Comes from Life, King of Knowledge, Coming Back, and I think it was Higher Taste. So I started explaining the books. She took the books to her hands, and she was asking me, what about this one? What is it about? I explained this one, I explained this one, and this one. She said, are you selling them? I said, no, we're just asking for contribution. You give a contribution, you get a book. She said, oh, I love this one. She took Life Comes from Life. I like this one. And she took King of Knowledge. I love this one as well. And she gave me a donation. Normally, naturally, when I give you something and you choose whatever you want, whatever is remaining, you give back to me. That's natural. But the atheist took one book and she gave to the Muslim, and she gave another book to the Christian. She said, you ladies are talking nonsense. Give this guy a donation. No question. They reached to their purses, they gave me donation. And the atheist distributed a book. 2 books. So you tell me in reality that if we can make people take books in the streets.
That was a nice story.
You see, if you can make people in the streets take books, all the books will be gone. We'll be running out of ink. So that's up to Krishna. Krishna could even use an atheist to distribute books. Krishna can use anyone to distribute books. At that point, I was so convinced I'm a very good book distributor. I never came back with one book to the temple. I was so convinced. But Krishna says, you're such a fool. I will show you who really distributes, not you. Yes. Yeah. So we still have some time. Another story which I'm really, is so close to my heart. I'll never forget that story. I'm distributing books again, the same place, but not really at the McDonald's. When I just crossed the road to the station, I'm having one last Bhagavad Gita. All the Bhagavad Gitas, all the books I had, they're gone. Now I'm having one Bhagavad Gita. And I'm praying as I'm working with it. That was before that story. I'm convinced that I'm a very good book distributor as well. Like working, like thinking, I wish this Bhagavad Gita goes to a person who deserves it, not anyone else. It's the last Bhagavad Gita I must go to. And that's another 24th of December. Amazing stories happen on the 24th, but different years. This one happened earlier than the atheist one. So right after crossing the, Adderley Street, towards the station. There was, I don't know if it's still there, there was like, kind of like a subway or something going towards to ShopRite. Some ladies came up. They're like maybe like 50 meters or 100 meters from me. I don't know like those guys. But they were a little bit far. And I thought to myself, you know what, I must give this book to these people. And I waited for them. And when they came, I greeted them, I spoke to them. There was one lady who was leading the group. She was like responding to all the questions. She was the one who was asking all the questions, And she said to me, you know what you're doing is very good. But I won't accept this book because it's against my religion, I'm a Christian leader. She said reverend or pastor, I don't remember exactly. But she said it's a Christian leader, basically. And she said, I cannot take this book. And then she said, but because what you're doing is very good, you're doing God's work, here's some donation. She gave me some donation, which was far more than the Bhagavad Gita. It's worth it, actually. So I tried to insist that she must take the Bhagavad Gita to the point where I could see in her face that she's becoming agitated. She doesn't want it at all. So I felt like, oh, I ended up committing an offense. She did something good, Let me just let her go. And she left with a group of people. And there were like children, lots of children around them. They went, and then when they reached the other building, actually, on my left, I saw them going, and then they reached, but somehow I was looking for someone else to give the Bhagavad Gita to. So someone tapped me on the shoulder. One kid was saying, Uncle. I turned around, he said, please give me that book. Immediately when I turned around, I noticed this kid was with the group. And I thought, okay, you can have the Bhagavad Gita because someone already donated for it, And I could see that she's coming from the same group. So I gave her the Bhagavad Gita. When she took the Bhagavad Gita, she started running towards these people. And I looked at the people, I noticed that the lady who refused the Bhagavad Gita is angry with the kid for taking the Bhagavad Gita, So the kid finally reached the group, and then the lady grabbed the Bhagavad Gita from her hand, and she starts looking around, and I'm thinking, when I looked, actually next to her was like those green dustbins. I was just hoping she doesn't put the Bhagavad Gita into the dustbin, I threw the sense of self-realization many times, but I felt like if she does it would be like a big issue, So when she turned around, she saw this homeless man sitting on a wheelchair, and she put the Bhagavad Gita on his lap. And I was like, oh, finally. At least she did something good, She distributed the Bhagavad Gita, But Krishna said, you stand here, you're not moving. Don't go anywhere. When you distribute a book, you keep on moving. What are you standing for? But Krishna made me stand there, So now, my attention now is on the guy on the wheelchair, So this guy grabbed the Bhagavad Gita. He raised it up like this, and he put it on the chest like this. And he raised it up again, like a couple of times doing the same thing. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, tomorrow is Christmas, This guy is happy that he's going to sell the book and buy some beer, be happy with everyone on Christmas. But this guy keeps on doing that. It's from a distance, I could see what he's doing, but I couldn't see his facial expression or something. So I finally walked towards him. I want to find out what is this drama about, He's not moving or anything, he's busy like with the Bhagavad Gita. So I went to him, I approached him from behind. And I said to him, my dear sir, what's happening? He didn't turn around and look at me. He's still doing that, and he said to me, my friend, you don't know what just happened. I said, what do you mean? What happened? He said, my life just began. What do you mean? And he showed me the Bhagavad Gita. You know this book. I'm behind him. You know this book. I said, no, because I want to hear more, He said, this book is the closest book to God. And I'm like, I distribute so many books, nobody ever told me this, And I said, what do you mean, my friend? And then he started he put the Bhagavad Gita on his lap. There was like some bag hanging on the side of his wheelchair. He started digging in. He said, where is it? Where is it? I said, what are you looking for? He says, from 1982, I had this tape of this old man talking about this book. I've been looking for this book ever since. And I'm like, really? And then that's when he turned around. He saw me wearing like saffron dotties. I saw tears flowing from his eyes. He said, please, my dear sir, please don't take this book away from me. I said, no, I'm not here to take the book. The book is yours. And he asked me, do you know those people who gave me? I said, no, they just took it from me. And here it is. Krishna brought it to you. You know. So, looking at the arrangement, for why was I standing there waiting for those people? And why did I wait for that kid to come back? And they were standing exactly where this man is looking for Bhagavad Gita was. Just to pass the Bhagavad Gita. Then I understood actually Krishna is in control of all this book distribution. But still, I was thinking I'm the best. That's why Krishna made an atheist to take a book from me, to distribute books, I mean. Hare Krishna. There's another question before? No more questions? Hare Krishna.